In first exercise, I am writing some codes with given instruction here. Firstly, I create a class named point2d with two attributes. These are x and y, double x and double y. After writing this, I wrote constructor part here, public point2d double x, comma double y. And then to call this values, I mean x and y, I use this here. This dot x equals x, semicolon. This dot y equals y, semicolon. And then I wrote here getters, public double get x, parenthesis, curly brackets, return x, semicolon, curly brackets. And then same thing for the y, public double get y, parenthesis, curly brackets, and return y, semicolon. And then here I create a method named distance to to calculate the distance between two coordinates. And here in this line I use a formula, the distance formula here. And then the distance method continue here, public double distance, parenthesis, point2d p, parenthesis, and then curly brackets, and here return distance, p dot get x and p dot get y. And writing distance method, I'm continue with midpoint method. I wrote this method to calculate midpoint of two coordinates. And in this line, I use a formula to find midpoint of the coordinates. And it looks like this. And then I wrote public static double distance, parenthesis, point2d, p1, comma, point2d, p2, parenthesis, curly brackets, return p1 dot distance, parenthesis, p2. And then I wrote another class named point2d test. I wrote this class to show you the results of this course. And then public static void main string args. And then here I create two coordinates. First one is p1 and second one is p2. And then I give some values for these coordinates. First one is for x is 3, for y is 4, and second one for x is 6 and for y is 8. And here I wrote system out println to show the coordinates, firstly p1 coordinates and p2 coordinates, and then distance between p1 and p2, and distance between p1 and there's a specific coordinates here. I wrote 7 and 1 here. It's changeable. And after writing this here, to show the midpoint of two coordinates, these are p1 and p2, I wrote this line. Let's run this code and show the results. As you can see here, P1 coordinates, these are 3 and 4, and here P2 coordinates 6 and 8, and distance between P1 and P2 it is 5, and distance between P1 and 7, 1, and it is 5 too, and midpoint of P1 and P2 it is 4.5, 6.0. This was the first exercise, and then now it is second exercise. Firstly, I create a shape interface here with two abstract methods. These methods are double calculate area and double calculate perimeter here. And then I create two more classes. These are circle and rectangle. And this circle class implements shape interface. So I wrote here class circle implements shape. And then I wrote attributes of this class, and it is double radius. And then I wrote here a constructor part, public circle double radius, this dot radius equals radius. And here, to calculate area, the circle, I wrote a formula here, and its formula looks like math.pi multiply radius square. I define this methods like this, and then second method is calculate perimeter, and again I use here a formula. It's like 2 multiply math.pi multiply radius. And then now rectangle turn, rectangle class here. It looks like circle class, but kind of different. Firstly, I wrote here class rectangle implements shape. This class also implements shape interface, and this class has two attributes here, double width and double height. And after writing this, I wrote here a constructor part, public rectangle double width, double height, and then I use here this to call these values, call these attributes. This dot width equals width, this dot height equals height. And then it's similar like circle class. A public double calculate area. To calculate a rectangle area, we use a formula, and it's like width multiply height. And so I wrote here return width multiply height semicolon. And then other method is calculate perimeter. So to calculate the rectangle perimeter, we use a formula too, and it's return multiply parentheses width plus height. And then here is a shape test class to test this code. Firstly, I wrote public class shape test and public static void main string args, and here I create a circle, shape circle, new circle, and its radius 5. I wrote here 5, but it's changeable. We can write here 6, 7, or any other number. And then here shape rectangle, new rectangle, and this rectangle's width is 4 and height is 6. It's changeable also. And then to show the circle area, I wrote here system out println circle area, and to access the circle area, I wrote here circle.calculate area parentheses. And then the other ones also similar, system out println circle perimeter, circle.calculate perimeter. This one's for circle and the other one's for rectangle. And let's run the code and see the results. let's see. As you can see, circle area is 78.539 and it goes like this. Circle perimeter is 31 and rectangle area 24. Rectangle perimeter is 20. And this was the second exercise. Now I'm gonna show you third exercise. Firstly, I create a class named vehicle with two attributes here. These are make and year. Make type is string and the other type is int. It's integer. And then I wrote here a constructor part, public vehicle, string make and int here. And then I use here this to call them. This dot make equals make, this dot year equals year. And then to see the terminal, I wrote here a public void display info to display these infos. System out println vehicle make plus manufacturing year plus year. And then other class is car. And this class extends vehicle. Class car extends vehicle and there is one attribute and it's num doors. And this its type is integer. Here I wrote int here. And after writing this, I wrote constructor part, public car string make int year int num doors. And then I wrote here super to call the parent class attributes make and year. And then we define these attributes in this class, so I am calling this with this dot num doors equals num doors. And then again public void display info super dot display info. Again I'm calling the parents attributes with using super here. And then I wrote here system.out.println number of doors plus num doors. And then our other class is motorcycle, and this class extends vehicle, similar like car. And then I wrote here extra attributes and it's engine type and type string. And then I wrote constructor part public motorcycle string make int year string engine type. And I wrote here super to call the parents attributes make and year. And this dot engine type equals engine type. And again this part of similar other classes. Public void display info parentheses curly brackets super dot display info parentheses semicolon and system dot out println parentheses engine type plus engine type. And then the last one is the last class is vehicle test. I wrote this class to test this code. Public class vehicle test. And then public static void main string args. And I create a car here, new car, and it's make Toyota and year 2020 and number of doors is 4. And then I create a motorcycle here, new motorcycle, make Harley Davidson, year 2018 and engine type is gasoline. then I wrote system out println car information. In the first line, it's gonna look, this line gonna look, and then we're gonna display infos, car dot display info parentheses, semicolon, and then motorcycle information, and here we are displaying motorcycle infos here one by one. The output's gonna look like this in this queue. And now I am running the code, and let's see the results. And here is the result. Car information, vehicle make, Toyota, manufacturing year 2020, number of doors 4. And motorcycle information, vehicle make, Harley Davidson, manufacturing year 2018, and engine type gasoline. And this was the last one, and it's done.